I keep being blown away by Turkey. It's really great when that happens, where you just, everything that happens, you're like, that's prettier than I thought. Wow, that guy was nicer than I thought he'd be. That food's better than I thought it would be.
I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is our rolling home, Dusty. We've been following our dreams of traveling around the world, and after making our way south,
we did it.
Very south, COVID brought us back to the US. But now, finally, it's time to explore again. So come along for season 2. We can't wait to see where this adventure takes us. Welcome back to the beautiful mountains of Turkey. This is where we woke up. What do you think? Would you like to wake up to this view? Like every other day, we had no idea what we would find, but we were happy to be on these little mountain roads. We made our coffee and watched the clouds as the mountains played hide and seek, all the while the sounds of sheep on a far-off hillside.
Well, good morning from this beautiful camp. I was just getting a shot of the truck leaving camp, and off in the distance you can hear the little bells, which usually means there's a herd of cows or sheep or some sort of animal like that. And you look off on the other mountain, which has been appearing and disappearing all morning because we're in the clouds, and there's a huge herd of sheep coming down the mountain. It's pretty cool. Last night, in the middle of the night, I heard something sniffing, like a big dog or something. I know there are wolves around, but I don't think it was a wolf. I think it was just one of the big, there's big dogs for the sheep herds and stuff, and it was just like for a good couple of minutes. So we couldn't see anything, and we didn't want to open a door, but that was pretty funny. So had one visitor in the night, not sure what it was, but I assume just probably a big dog, and then wake up to herds of sheep along the mountain next to this beautiful lake. So not a bad campsite. Not quite used to the elevation though. So definitely felt the elevation last night and this morning, as you can tell, because just walking I feel a little out of breath. Anyways, we're gonna hit the road and see what we see. But it's beautiful so far. So pretty up here. It reminds me a little bit of the mountains in Peru.
Yeah, Argentina as well,
yeah.
Up in Patagonia.
Do you remember when we saw what we didn't know were chinchillas?
Yeah, but they were
rabbits.
They were a specific kind.
Yeah,
of
someone commented and let us know. But that was pretty funny and pretty cool, and it kind of reminds me of this a little bit, although that was more door-y, I think. But this is pretty cool too.
These last 2 days were probably some of my favorite days of driving in Turkey. If you didn't catch the last episode, you should check that one out. The natural beauty of the mountains, the lightly used roads, it's exactly what we dream of, what we are constantly in search of, and it's the very reason we choose to travel in a truck like Dusty. But since leaving Arizona, we were feeling starved for remoteness, because, well, remote doesn't exist in Europe. At least not for two kids spoiled by the Western US. So this taste of freedom was just what the doctor had ordered.
I just, it's funny. I keep being blown away by Turkey. It's really great when that happens, where you just, everything that happens, you're like, that's prettier than I thought. Wow, that guy was nicer than I thought he'd be. That food's better than I thought it would be.
As we worked our way down the mountain, we began to see more signs of civilization. The road was getting steadily more used, we were seeing more people and animals, bee boxes, gardens, and as you'll see soon, some amazing little hillside villages. It was all pretty special, but I'll let you decide for yourself. I think the footage speaks for itself. I love seeing where people have carved out their little place in the world, some grander than others, but all clearly loved and cared for. I really felt a warmth as we drove through these little communities. We were passing through as they were cutting hay. You can see the big stacks here, so everyone was busy at work in the fields. As we continued to descend lower and lower, the canyon narrowed and we found ourselves right next to a roaring river. Such a stunning drive. We stopped here to have lunch and check out this bridge.
Cool. I know there's lots of them in Turkey, so I'm excited to see more. The construction of it is just amazing. The pitch.
Yeah.
Like that. I just think like
Today's drive was full of ups and downs, literally, and we now found ourselves way up in the clouds, making our way through more magical villages. Although with the fog, I think they felt more mystical, often appearing out of nowhere. I love these bright little poppies, a dash of color in the gray surroundings. The fog was so thick I found myself watching the GPS for an idea of what was to come, letting Tim know the road was going to turn slightly to the right, or there would be a sharp switch back to the left. It was slow progress, but we pushed on, in search of a good camp for the night. We might have missed a few spots because, well, we just couldn't see them. But eventually, we made it out of the clouds and found a spot to lay our heads for the night. All right, you can see right there. It's always so much harder to point to things in the viewfinder than you'd think. The opposite direction is the opposite direction. Okay, so we have set up camp. As you can tell behind me, Dusty is all set up. We had some crazy mountains and such cool villages to drive through, crazy roads, and when you're driving stuff like that, for me it's such an emotional up and down because it's beautiful and you can't stop just being amazed at what you're driving through and waving at friendly people, and it's so beautiful. And then you're also on a one-lane, really narrow, windy road that people that might not be the best drivers are coming the opposite direction, or there's a big truck coming at you, and so it's super stressful. It's hard on the truck. It's hard driving. It's so much concentration, especially when we were in the fog. It's just so much to take in. But it was amazing. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And wow, the villages up in the mountains in Turkey are incredible. So we went up and we went down, we went up and we went down, and we got some groceries in a little town down near the Black Sea. And we came back up a mountain because it's just too hot to be down too low. So we're just above 1,000 meters and found this, as you can tell, just disused little road. And basically just looking on Google Earth and satellite view and just seeing, what looks like it's not in a village. So we are above villages and something that looks like not a major road. And we seemed to get lucky and we found this. And it looks like it might rain, and man, it feels like it might rain. It's really muggy, and I'll show you around because I've been looking around and there's lots of weird bugs and some really cool plants, even though it kind of looks, I don't know. Upon first glance, it's not the coolest landscape ever, but when you really get down and look at it, I found some really cool little succulents and stuff, so. really pretty. We're exhausted, especially Tim, because he did all the driving. So thank you, Tim, for doing all that stressful driving. And I just stared out the window and pointed my camera at pretty stuff and navigated. But yeah, that was a lot to take in. And I hope you guys enjoyed all the views because they're pretty spectacular. And thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, because that always helps us. And we do read all the comments. We like getting comments, and especially if they're nice. We really like the nice comments. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for coming along, for all your support. There's these weird wild animals here that no one knows about. What'd you think of drive?
Amazing.
So pretty.
I mean,
I was saying it's so much up and down. I mean, literally up and down, but also emotional up and down, because you're like driving through a beautiful village and it's like, oh, it's so pretty, and you can't stop. And then also it's really stressful. It's an overwhelming amount of like driving stress, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think
really
my favorite
work.
was when we got to that little town sort of midway in that section, and it looked like there was no way out. And there was just like a little hill and a bit of grass. And
yeah,
you went,
I literally got out and walked
or washed out,
because
no
we weren't
one's
sure.
there. So it was awesome. I mean, it felt like real exploring, which has been hard to find a lot of times on this trip.
Yeah.
And there's so many other things to enjoy, like people.
Yeah.
And good views and good camps, but like that feeling of really being on a track, and then you can veer off and kind of go on your own little adventure on a road that you go, wow, this looks like it has zero use. Kind of like this trail. This isn't nearly as adventurous because we're not off in the middle of nowhere, but it's a track that's just, someone's decided they don't need it anymore, and there's boulders, so we kind of crawled over the boulders. But yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.